Hello everyone, and my name is Yula, and today we're gonna read IB and Ben's story Make the Rules. Story starting at Monkey Park Gone Wild chapter. And let's start reading at this chapter. Gianna reading is the next chapter for today. Now, yes, here. Are you ready for read this one but with a lot of stories? Now here we go. First we can read IB and Ben Make the Rules story starting at Monkey Park Gone Wild chapter. IB was counselor and in charge of nature study. It was only fair. She knew a lot about nature. She knew about bugs and dinosaurs and tornadoes. But what the heck was nature study? Ivy wasn't sure, so the next morning she brought every nature things she could do. She could think of the Camp Flaming Arrow. Please be seated, said Ivy to Heron and Friendly. They have seated, and when Ivy to Heron and Friendly, they sat. These are the nature study materials. Our kit, that was good. Our kit sounded like something consular we could have. This is a magnifying glass. She held it up. We know, said Friendly. Shh, said Ben. Ivy held up a pair of goggles. They are goggles. They protect your eyes during explosions. Explosions, said Helen. Ivy held up the binoculars for seeing things that are far away. Like what? Said Friendly. What are we going to see? Shh, said Ben. Paperbacks, said Ivy, waving at them. For spacemen. What spacemen? Said Friendly. I don't see any specimens. Hey, said Ben, the counselor is always right. I don't think this is a real nature study, grumbled Franny. Let's do more crafts like yesterday. Ben was just about to get mad when Ivy spoke. Fine, she said, like she didn't care. If you want to go off by yourself and do crafts, that's okay, but you're missing a really special event, a very unusual event. She smiled. Today's nature study is, she paused dramatically, the Komodo dragon. A dragon, swift Helen. Komodo dragons are lizards, said Ivy, explained. They are longer than two grown-ups to put in together. That are split as red as potions. And guess what? They don't ever poop. What's they look like? Said Helen. How can they not poop? They look like a giant brown lizard, said Ivy. They didn't chew. They can't chew. They don't have any taste buds. She didn't know how could they don't poop, so she answered that question. Do they have here? Said Helen, looking around. How can they not poop? They eat goat's holes, said Ivy. Then they live here in the monkey park, said Friendly. She didn't sound she could believe it. And Ivy looked at Ben. Komodo dragons are very, very rare in Monkey Park, she said, but we might get lucky today. This was true. There might a Komodo dragon that had escaped from Jew. It's just possible. In fact, I think I'd better go with my Komodo catcher, just in case. Really? Said Heron. He bounced a little. We're going to catch one? Maybe, said Ivy. I'll be right back. While Ivy ran to her house, Ben gave a camper's peep talk. At last, it started out as a peep talk. Nature study is one of the most important parts of the camp, she said, but it's also the most dangerous. She squirted two eyes like a cowboy. We have a lost bee campers in the nature study. Lost? Said Helen. Here? Binha shook her head slowly. She was feeling more like a cowboy every minute. Monkey Park, she drawled. It's wildland. Helen looked worried. Maybe we should skip nature study. It's on camp without nature study, said Ben. She wanted split. So don't usually, said Ben. She wanted to split, but usually dribble to the front, so it didn't. Don't felt like a fella, like we are good and prepared. You sound like a cowboy, said Friendly. Yeah, man. Well, ma'am, began Ben, but just then I become running with a butterfly net in her head. That's a butterfly net, said Friendly. It's Komodo character, said Ivy. Then pick it up a thick stick, and here is the Komodo whopper. Hurley and put on the goggles. What if they eat us? He asked. Oh, Helen, said Friendly. It's just made up. There aren't any Komodo dragons. Don't be sure, Missy, said Ben, running to the part of the face where a beard will be. Let's move out nice and slow. And Ivy had led them through the little woods. They have wound among trees, their feet crunching quietly over leaves, and Ben had begun to think they're a Komodo dragon. It would be ever hard to see. It might keep on to them, with its red and pointed split. Halt! Ivy whispered and shouted. When the Helen and Friendly halted, Ivy bent down and scrabbled on the dirt. Look, she pointed. Footprints. Ben had leaned over a big five-toed footprint. Komodo? She asked. Ivy nodded wisely. Be very quiet, she whispered, hurriedly breathing. They walked on. Step, step, step. Hark, Ivy whispered. That's the call of a Komodo dragon. Ooh, Ben said out of the side of her mouth. Thank you, said Friendly. No, that was the yellow-billed snapsucker, said Ivy. Suddenly, she bent to scrabble the dirt again. Look, she cried. A spaceman. She held up a muddy lump. The Komodo has been here. And Helen had lifted scuttles to get to the good look. What is that thing? This is the remains of a Komodo's breakfast. Ivy peered carefully. I believe it was a goat. A goat? Helen said. That was a goat? Oh, Helen, Friendly said. It wasn't a goat. She just make it up. Ivy have turned it a little bit red. I am not making up. Yes, you are, said Friendly. I said I believe it was a goat, and I do. Ben could see that Ivy was getting mad. Ben knew from experience that Ivy got mad. She got stubborn. She could see that Friendly was stubborn too. They were probably going to have an argument. Yup, they were having it. You don't know anything about Komodo dragons, Ivy was saying. Bored, Ben sat down and looked over at the field. The soccer teams were there again. It wasn't a game, but moms and dads were watching. It was a bunch of kids kicking a ball around while a teenager yelled at them, "Soccer camp," and gasped. Hey, one out of the kids were Leo, the school who went to school with Ivy and Ben. He mostly their friend, even though he was calling a ruckus sometimes. Ben have watched it. The teenager stop yelling and walk away, talking to his cell phone. As soon as his back he turned to the soccer, kids went bonks, kicking to the balls. Way dad, goal, goal, goal. They screamed, racing around the field. Leo was the fastest, juggling and screeching and waving his arms wildly. And Bina started to laugh. Hey, she poked with Ivy's stick. Check it out. An escaped Komodo dragon. She pointed at Leo. What? Said Friendly. Ivy turned and saw. She giggled. Wow. A whole herd of them. Get a big one, yelled Ben, jumping up and began to run, waving her whooper. She followed with her butterfly net. Komodo turned. Ben had screamed to Frenny and Herlin, and they took off behind her. Leo was so busy sleeping around that he didn't notice Ben was still until she was right next to him. Hey, he said. Ben, what are you doing? Get him, she yelled to Ivy. Ivy almost got to the net over Leo's head, but she ducked away. Head him off the path, cried Ben to Harlan and Frenny. Leo didn't bother any more questions after that. He just ran, waggling the whooper overhead. Ben charged after him. Circle around, she shrieked. Leo looked over his shoulder and headed for the trees. Ben and Ivy and Frenny and Herlin tore after him. He swung around and headed in the other direction, but there were Ben and her whooper. Leo turned again and ran smack into Ivy. Got him, Ivy yelled, which wasn't actually true, since she and Leo were both on the ground. Back him, hurled Ben, and Ivy dropped over to the net under Leo's head. Good work, painted Ben, globing off Harlan and Frenny. Leo was painting too. What are paint you guys are doing? Ben half poked Leo with a whooper. Ivy gold-blamed. It's a talking Komodo. Very rare, whispered Ivy. Leo looked at them. What are you guys talking about? You're a Komodo dragon, Harleen said. A small one, said Ben. A runt, giggled Ivy. I'm not, said Leo. Come on, what's this? It's a camp, said Ivy. We're counselors, whispered Ben. This is a nature study, said Friendly. A Komodo dragon hunt, said Ivy. And you are a Komodo dragon, Harleen told him. Leo took off a net on his head. You guys were whackers, you know, Dad. Ben stood up. Come on, little campers, let's move out. Wait, Leo said. He rolled over his stomach. You want to hunt a real Komodo dragon? Try catching that kid over there. He pointed to the kid who was leaving by the soccer ball. Hey, Dranto, you're a Komodo, Leo yelled. The kid stopped wheezing. What? Get him. Now it's a next chapter called Tape Tea Tap Tap. Chapter. I don't know what that means, but I think this is the chapter name. Let's start reading at this chapter for tomorrow. And now, did you have fun? Let's English Country. We come back with some this book, but not this story because it might be a new chapter to read. And please download my YouTube and have a nice day. And you really will gonna see the real Komodo dragon for tomorrow. Now bye bye everyone and have a nice day. Bye.